What's going on, folks? Welcome back. This is the Cloud Pilot, and you're listening to the Cloud Pilot podcast. In the last episode, we were talking about how 66 Degrees was bringing an impact using Google Cloud. And this is a continuation of the same episode, but we have another very special guest. Today, the CTO of 66 Degrees was also previously a founder of Qwinix Technologies is joining us to talk about how Google Cloud and 66 Degrees is changing the world technically. So let me welcome the guest, Darshan Puttannaiah, to our podcast. Welcome, Darshan. Thank you so much for finding time and joining us. It's absolutely a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Darshan, why don't you let us know about your background, how you have been going through all your life?
Sure, absolutely. So my background, I'm an engineer by trade. Started off working for companies doing application engineering, application development, I should say. Grew up in India, finished my engineering, moved to Canada, moved to the US after that for work. Been in the Denver area for the last 16 years, and I've worked for a lot of financial services companies and the likes, but and then eventually started my own company. It's a services-based company is what we started, primarily to help customers build software solutions on the cloud.
Cool. So what was your inspiration to start your own company?
Yeah, we've been, I've always wanted to do something on my own. So we've always dabbled, even when I was in college, trying to do some stuff on my own. And one of the things I constantly saw when working for larger enterprise customers was, the quality of solutions that were being built and the companies that were actually coming in to build these solutions for a lot of these, large enterprise customers. And I think the cloud, when we started, cloud was pretty new, and then everybody, we thought, okay, there's an opportunity for us to help build solutions on the cloud. The reason was I was a big fan of attending a lot of meetups. So I used to attend a lot of meetups, and one constant theme that I used to hear is, hey, we have an idea and we have some money. We don't know how to build this product and launch in the market. So that's what really helped start our company, is help build MVPs for startups. And you used one stack, one platform, and help develop this application and deploy it and get them running. That's how it really started.
Wow. I really have a huge respect to all the founders, because even me, even when I used to think sometimes I should also start a company, but I don't think I really have that much skill sets to start my own company. Perhaps maybe in the future, but now that you're a CEO of a Google Cloud Premier Partner, which has been exceptional, which has been performing exceptionally in the just 1 year of branding. What is your daily life as a CTO? How does your daily life look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think, from starting my own company and being the founder and CEO of that company, and then merging with another cloud provider, cloud premier partner, and then now being 66 Degrees here as a CTO is a lot of changes in a good way, because I'm learning a lot from how do you scale the company, how do you scale it at a much faster pace, and a lot of smart people in the company that I'm learning with as well. On a day-to-day basis, areas that I focus on are, building product and solution relationships with Google, and how can we actually create joint go-to-market strategies on various solutions that Google's actually coming with our own internal roadmap of what service offerings we should be looking at 66 Degrees, building a lot of tooling and accelerators for helping our customers as well. And also having, strategic conversations with our, customers to help them, implement and leverage cloud to enhance their business, so we can bring in, I work with a lot of chief architects who are really, really smart as part of our team. And they, I learn from them every day. They bring in a lot of experience. They actually also help me grow in my role.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Being a CTO is somebody who can be an expert in both business and technology. So it's really great that you are doing a lot of things. One thing which I mostly resonate with you is the um, the habit of giving back to the community to help people, which and that's something which I have observed that is something common between us.
Yeah.
So again, as a CTO, I'm sure there would be a lot of challenges because you are a founder initially, then you were a CEO, now you're a CTO. Tons of challenges, I can absolutely say. So what would be some of the challenges that you would share?
I think some of the challenges initially was, when we started the company, I had no experience running a business. So as you can imagine, I'm a tech guy trying to run a company. So there's a lot of new things that you had to learn, from finances to HR to, management as a whole. So that's something new. And then, we like the cliche goes, right? Like, everybody says, keep doing things, and you make mistakes, you learn from your mistakes. That's so true in the real world, because we went through those challenges, and we as a company grew. And though, I mean, there were some unique challenges because I was not, I didn't have any, like I said before, didn't have any business skills. So you had to learn all that, and how do you run your finances? How do you look at your numbers? How do you match that up with the growth of the company? And I think for me, I think it probably took a little longer than anybody else, because I was more on the tech side and not really on the business side. So it took longer, and along the way, I had a lot of great mentors to help me through this whole process in terms of how to overcome some of these challenges that I was not really good at. So we were able to help, hire some people to help us through that. The number of these challenges, how do you manage, like I said, finances? How do you hire the right people? How do you scale the company? So what kinds of structure should you build? How do you even sell? Right. So again, I'm a sales guy. I'm not a sales guy, so I'm an engineer. So how do you put a hat on and a sales hat on and go in and sell? So those are all some challenges. I think I one funny story, I've shared this with many people, is the first ever networking event I went to actually go meet with people. I couldn't talk to anybody, so I just walked out. Because like I didn't know what to talk. So I think those are initial challenges that you had to overcome, and it's a new place, so you had to network with everybody, try to meet a lot of people. So yeah, it's a lot of challenges. I think it was a good learning experience, I should say.
Yeah, it really is. Even for my first networking event, I was kind of hesitant to talk to people, and I didn't really talk. I literally just talked to a couple of people who I met while having the snacks. That was the only conversation I had for the entire event. And all the other time, I was just sticking with my friends without realizing how big or how much potential that opportunity carried. But later I realized, I had to utilize that. And yeah, everybody makes mistakes. And learning from those mistakes are really so much valuable. So yeah. Now, as you have started the company, did you have any frameworks for establishing a company? How was it like to build a company from scratch?
So the framework, per se, we really didn't have any framework, right? So all we did was we looked at, what is the gap in the market and how can we fill that gap. And we continued to do that, right? So we started off as an app dev shop, trying to help a lot of startups, launch MVPs. Then eventually we looked at a lot of the cloud providers and say, we should actually pivot and do a lot of the cloud specific work and build cloud native applications. So that's kind of that we kept changing based on what the market needs were and how we can actually also help our customers, further their business by bringing new technology solutions. So that's kind of like, we were focused on what the customer really needed and was asking for. So, I mean, our whole focus on the Google Cloud really came about because one of our, large customers were looking at Google Cloud. And we said, all right, let's look at Google Cloud and how can we focus on it? And that really gave us an opportunity to go deeper and dive deeper into the
66 is making it really unique in using Google Cloud. So now, what do you think is Google's impact and the impact of cloud on a technical perspective? Matt talked about the business perspective. So you would be much more, as a technical person, you would be much more fit to talk about how it is bringing in technical impact. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think, Google has been known for, the data and analytics side of it, right? So they have been instrumental in, kind of helping a lot of customers unlock value from the data that the customers are actually, the companies are actually producing. So that's one aspect, but also, as you can imagine, Google knows how to run really large systems. YouTube, Google. So a couple of these assets that they run, they have to have really highly scalable infrastructure and practices. So that's essentially what Google's actually helping businesses to look at, like use their tools and technology that they use internally and that is being made available for customers to scale their businesses similar to the way that Google's actually scaled. So a lot of the, as you know, Kubernetes was, incubated in Google and is now open source. It's been open source, and a lot of the other cloud providers are also leveraging that, and Google's, as an upper hand because they were the creators of these things. So to that end, a lot of new technologies, new solutions, new services are being developed as part of Google Cloud, and it's maturing. And granted, Google Cloud is in the number 3 position today, but a lot of these new enhancements that Google Cloud services that the Google Cloud is actually releasing is helping them, gain market share by helping customers, with their transformation journey.
Yeah, it really does. They really know how to do things within their style. And one thing which I forgot to ask you was, after you started your own company, how has your priorities changed? Because being a founder, it's really a responsible, highly responsible job, and you have to put all your efforts in it to build that company, make it stable. How has your priorities changed?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's a good question because I think it has changed quite a bit. Like, before, I had to look at every aspect of the business. Yes, we do look at and have the visibility to look at all the aspects of the business even today, but at the same time, there's one area I don't have to be worried about all that areas because there are other experts in the business who actually are looking at various business areas. So I think it also has given me, coming from an engineering background, it also has given me a good, amount of time for me to focus on deep engineering skills that I can build and also help our teammates internally to get better in what they're doing, and also looking at new solutions, new technologies, which was not the case before. I wanted to do it, but I never had a chance to do it. Now I have the opportunity to focus on that and see how we can, like I said, help our customers, plus also help our internal teams get better on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's really insightful. The change in our lives after we take something responsible is really evident in the activities that we do. So how do you build a team? While building a team, what are those things that you consider to build a strong, a team that can bring in success?
I mean, again, that's a great question. I think without the team, we're nothing. Especially in our business, we are in the business of people, right? So without good teammates who share the same cultural values, the same customer obsession, the customer focus, I think we as a company don't exist. For us to really focus on the kind of people, I think for me personally, I really like to hire people who are hungry, who have been entrepreneurial, because I think they bring a lot of the personalities, at least I am looking for, is like that, what do you call, entrepreneur, right? So who can actually take initiatives on their own. And I'm, me personally, I'm not a micromanager. So with that being said, I just have to hire people who can do things on their own with some direction, right? So that's what I look for. I think the personalities is a big thing. Again, the cliche goes, hire for personality, not for skills. So I do agree, and I've actually seen that. I've also done a lot of mistakes in that sense, right? Like initially I hired for like, hey, these are skills I really want. Some things worked. It might not work. It didn't work for us, or it may not work. It may not have worked for the person who we hired. So we've kind of learned from those mistakes. And I think finally I've realized that after a long career, hiring for the personality and cultural fit is more important. And then, skills they can learn on the job if they're hungry to learn new things.
So audience, if you're keeping this on mind, 66 Degrees is hiring for a particular amount of roles. So check out their career website. And now we have heard from the CTO itself on what they are looking for. So now, Darshan, how much importance does culture as in a company, according to you? So how much importance do you give for culture and building up a good team with a good, working environment, creating a bond between the employees? How much value or how much weight does culture hold?
I mean, it does hold a lot of value, and I think for me, I think what is culture? I think it's how you treat people. If you treat your teammates, how do you reciprocate with them for their issues and troubles, and how you can actually help them grow, right? Like these are the key things that I consider to be part of the culture. Again, I have made tons of mistakes. There are people that things that we've done incorrectly in the past as well. But I feel that we have learned and matured as an organization, and me as a person as well, in terms of what is it that is really important. And I think treating people correctly is what culture is all about, and it is a very important aspect of how you build your company, and that kind of helps you in a number of ways, right? Like hiring people, keeping the morale high for our teammates. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits, and then I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree with that, because only if you have a good culture, that's where we actually get encouragement to work more and to do more for the company. So I think yes, culture is really an important piece. And again, so what's your definition for success? How do you define success, whether it's your personal life or whether it's the company, how do you define success?
I think one factor that I see as the definition of success is how many people are you able to help get better, right? So they just got off college and we're able to hire them. They are now able to improve their skills and grow with the company. I think that's what really matters. I mean, yes, there are other monetary things that come to play, but I think what really resonates with me and what I really look for, at least measure, is how many people are we will be able to help grow in their career, right? Like that's a big factor for me in looking at and measuring success.
Yeah, it really makes sense because, in fact, my father would also used to say, if you can help somebody get a job, you're not actually helping that person, you're helping the whole family to survive. And that's a big thing. And that's a really big thing. And again, there would be many people depending on that family. And so that it's actually a very big network if we just continue to grow the tree. So yeah, it's really a good insight on success. And now that you have all this knowledge which you have gained over the past 16 years in the industry and all other personal experiences, what would you have advised your younger self if you had this knowledge? Like if somebody was, if you were to give advice to your younger self, or maybe like some when you were in my age, perhaps, what
Yep.
advice would have given?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I keep reminding myself as well is, and everybody watching this, is take chances early on. I think learn a lot of things early on, and then I think when I started the company, I was like, I should have done this 5-6 years ago, right? So instead of kind of waiting till I gained a lot of knowledge, there are positives and negatives in doing so, but like what I feel, if I have to advise my younger self, is take chances early, make mistakes, learn from it, and grow early on in your career, and I think diversify your reach in terms of skills. How work in HR, work in finance, work in tech, try to learn different aspects of the business, so you can do better. That was one thing. I think those are the things that I would say to my younger self.
Yeah, I do agree with this so much because I can totally relate to this. Because initially while I was in the last year of my college, that's when I actually decided, or maybe it was not really a decision, but I just thought I'll just learn cloud. But I never really thought the impact that would bring it to me both professionally and personally. And what you witness now is the impact that it have brought of for that decision. And there were a lot of people who didn't really take that decision back then, but now I observe that they are coming to a point where they have to make this decision for the rest of their lives. So I can totally relate to that. And yes, I really wish I could have known this early, because if I knew cloud, if I knew, if there was somebody who would tell me to start learning cloud while I was in my first year, I could have done so much things. I would have grown explosively. So yeah, I can totally relate to it and absolutely agreeing to each and every point that you're telling.
Yeah, I think it's never late, right? So as long as you realize, make some changes, keep doing what you like. That's what matters. But I think it's good to learn from what you've done, from mistakes you've done in the past, and keep growing as an individual. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree, because we all learn from mistakes. We make mistakes because we don't know what to do. So we do what we feel like doing, and then if it's a mistake, we learn from it. Next time we don't repeat it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely an insightful point. And thank you so much, Darshan, for joining us. It was a very wonderful conversation, lot of things to take away, and it was a pleasure to have you. Any closing thoughts?
So thank you, Udesh, for having me on your podcast. And I've been watching your podcast, and you're bringing some amazing speakers. So thank you for bringing me on this as well. I just want to say thank you to all my colleagues at 66 Degrees for teaching me every day and making me a better person, plus also a lot of our partners at Google Cloud for helping us grow as a company. Thank you again.
Yeah, and in fact, I should also thank you for making me at least a bit of something. I know I was nothing, and not even I wasn't even given a value for paper, but now I really think that I have at least a bit of some value, and that happened because of 66 Degrees and every support which I've been getting, and including you, Matt. Everybody has been instrumental. A lot of people, if I have to mention, it would take a list. But again, I'm remembering all of them at this occasion, and I just want to extend a hearty thanks to everybody for supporting me and to help me grow and to help me do what I wish to do. And I'm loving each second. So thank you once again for joining. And it was absolutely a pleasure and an honor to have you on my podcast. I really had a plan for this. I have been planning this for a long time, and I'm so happy we could do this today. So thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you and good luck, Udesh.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. I hope this was helpful enough. We'll catch up soon in another one. And if you're checking out for roles at 66 Degrees, do check out their career website. Link is in the description. And we'll catch up soon in another one. Till then, it's me, the Cloud Pilot, signing off. Bye.